Hello again, guys. If you've come from the tour, if you haven't, there is actually a tour of this vessel that's on my channel description page. We're just coming close. This is the test drive video. We're going to be going out in some windy and choppy conditions, but I want to talk to you about trailering. I think a lot of you are going to be potentially towing this behind your vehicle. So you need under a 2-ton towing capacity for this because she's not very heavy, including the trailer and fuel. Next thing, you don't need to deflate the tubes to put this one on your trailer, and a single axle trailer is fine. And if you're also thinking about towing this boat behind your other boat, aluminium hull, and you got this lovely strong point just in here that you can hook up to. Next thing, coming close, I really did notice this out on the water, and hopefully you can see the design of this aluminium hull. She's 24 degrees of dead rise and cutting up a lot of the chop quite effectively. And we do have 20 plus knots of wind out there today, which you're about to see. Let's do it. So I got the 115 horsepower Yami on this one. She's a 4-stroke, but we have the Morse control. So this throttle base, it's going to feel a lot different if you're used to electronic controls. It's just good old cable from here back to the motor. So it's a little bit more agricultural. You can get used to it. Obviously the throttle handle itself is longer. And so depending on how your style of driving is that you need to adopt as opposed, for the conditions, it may or may not be more useful, but just be aware of that. There is a difference. The conditions are much windier than when we flew the drone before. We got 20 knots plus now. I've got tide, outgoing tide, incoming seas, lots of boat chop. So it's going to be a good, fun, realistic test. I don't have fuel flow data, but it doesn't bloody matter on something this size because, this is a real workhorse. It's not going to use a lot of fuel compared to the bigger Highfields and compared to a lot of other boats. I think a lot of you are going to be treating this boat like a tender, like a support boat. Could be your primary boat as well, very happily. You could really easily tow this thing behind virtually any vehicle. So I see that being good. Now, hopefully this camera is going to show you the quite short, sharp chop that we're passing over right now at 3,500 revs at an 18 knot cruise speed. So that's fine. I'm actually not taking any water on board, and this is up to a foot, half a foot to a foot, some of these waves. The hull, the 24 degrees of dead rise on this one, it is eating it up, and I can feel the solid nature of the aluminium keeping the whole thing quite rigid, and then there's a little bit of movement with the tubes as they connect with the ocean, and it provides like a bit of a cushioning effect. Let's just increase that speed a little bit, and what we'll do is turn around and run downwind, which is going to be into the tide, and we'll do a full speed run. Boom. Got the dredge on starboard, I've got a dredge after me, no one up ahead. Okay, a few little waves, playing with my trim, 4,500, 22 knots. It's not really conditions that are going to allow me to do wide open throttle just yet. I'm just going to have to feel this out. Okay, here's my opportunity. Clear, few waves. What a good little thing. Okay, a bit of a trim up, 23 knots. Bit more of a trim up, 5,000 revs. I'm moving through the water at 27 knots there. The directional stability feels good even through this chop. Give it some more. 115. I love these old Yamis, they're great. Oh, I like this handle here. You really could brace yourself. I feel more secure. 31 knots, 5,500 revs. Okay, no one around me. Clear, wide open. Wow, the directional stability is still pretty good. Couple of waves there, bouncing through my legs. 34, 35, 6,200 revs. 34 to 35 knots there. That's kind of cool. All right, trim down, clear. Now let's go find a couple of waves. I'm not going to go full speed into it. I'm just going to cruise it now. You really notice we're doing 20 knots, 25 knots SOG into 20 knots of wind. So we effectively have 45 knots of wind over the decks. That's our apparent wind. So you do notice it. That's where this windscreen really comes into its own. Because me at 5'7", standing, albeit with my legs spread, I am not losing my hat. So that's quite all right. The T-top wobbles a little bit. I can hear it creaking through some of these waves. And the shade, however, I'm really benefiting from. Even though it's winter here in Queensland, the sun's quite strong here, and I always appreciate having bucket loads of shade. So I don't see that as an issue, and it's quite a high T-top. So even you bigger blokes are still going to get under this with ease, and that's a nice grab handle if you need. Actually, that's one of the takeaways of this boat. There's grab handles made of aluminium everywhere. If you want to move forward, if you want to move aft, I like this design here. It just gives me something solid to hold on to at all times. And let's go expose ourselves to a couple more waves and see where that is going to be genuinely useful to us. All right, because what you can do, you can lean your body back like this, even put one foot up on this footrest here, and that allows you to put pressure onto the flipped up bolster, and then you really sturdy yourself. And with your other leg, you can bounce through some of the waves if necessary. Here we go, we're getting into more exposed conditions here. I'm coming in at 23 knots. Just watching out for traffic, looking for people in the water. Excellent. Now let's go into the beach. The tide's going down, so I can't get as close as we did with the drone, but I can on the northern part. There we go. So we've got breaking waves over there. Lovely. 23 knots. Less than ideal conditions. Really good as a workhorse, this boat. Coming through at 26. Got some waves here. We're going down swell now. Got some jet skis up ahead. I'm going to let the jet skis pass, and then I'm going to tuck in behind them and run the beach. Heaps of fun. Heaps of fun. I might just try sitting and driving. You know what? Very, very possible to do the old sit and drive in the right conditions on this one. I do love this. I can really lock myself in. Couple of waves here. Woohoo! So she is going to throw up a little bit of spray at times, but this is far from flat conditions right now. Maintaining 24 knots, and we'll do one more run down the beach. You know, the tubes, when you run down swell and you hit the next wave, they do send a little bit of that wash out. So if it's super windy and you're going into it, yes, I think that spray is going to come up on deck. Whereas on the bigger Highfields, which I've now driven, you are going to have a little bit more protection as opposed to this one. But you need to ask yourself, you know, what jobs you're going to apply to a boat like this. If you want to be trailering it everywhere and anywhere, then maybe it's a benefit to have a smaller boat. If you're going to use this as a tender, or if you're going to tow this behind another vessel, let's go through these waves. Nice, manageable. Then you may see this as a more practical solution for what you're wanting to do. If you just don't want to burn much fuel, if you're in some place where they charge a lot for fuel, then this might do everything you need it to do without breaking the fuel budget. So there's that. Just want to go through this guy's waves again, because I can. Awesome. Now let's race him. All right, 30 knots, downwind, choppy water, a foot of chop at times. Lovely little thing, lovely, solid little rocket ship. I still think this is look at that, bouncing over it. Don't necessarily drive like this all the time. I'm just trying to test the boat, guys. I think a sensible speed, it's probably going to be in those lower 20s to 27 knots most of the time. Clear, one tourist boat. I'm going to tuck in out of the channel now. Very good. I think we just should, might as well just put her right up on the beach around the corner here. And that's where we can wrap up this video for you. Okay, so hand deployment for the anchor, guys, and you just utilize the bow roller. You only need a small amount of chain and an anchor like this that comes in its own little bag and stows in the locker here. You'll secure the anchor line to this cleat here, but if you need to tow the vessel, don't tow it with this cleat. It's not designed for that. Make sure you tow it from the tow point. So you would actually just secure a painter from here and bring that up on deck. If you are deciding on what sort of line to use, maybe something like 3-strand with a little bit of stretch in it, and just make sure it doesn't extend all the way back past the motor, because you could have a little bit of a whoopsie if you do that and forget to secure it and it goes in the drink. So just consider that if you are going to be towing it. And this is designed for anchoring and stepping on and off docks, not towing, okay? Because tubes here don't give you the rigidity underneath them. That's why you really want to come off that. Hopefully that makes sense. This is a good, fun, practical piece of kit. Like if you're looking for a little workhorse, if you could be multiple people that are attracted to this boat. Like if you want to tow something behind your camper van, like one of those van life type setups, or your 4-wheel drive, or your car, because it's not very heavy. This could be your primary vessel, and you could trip all around the country and have awesome summers on this. But you could also, if you're the sort of person that needs a bit of a go fast boat for your summer house or your waterfront, and you just want to use it to commute, another really good option, because she's a good middle ground in terms of the size and her capability. And then of course, those of you who want to perhaps use it as a tender or a support to your big boat, because all of these grab handles all the way around the boat, all this aluminium here and out the back here, and even just here, it just makes it quite a practical thing to be getting on and off, perhaps loading dive tanks, spear guns, surfboards, whatever you decide to do on the boat, with all those places to hang on to, and the fact that it is an aluminium hull, meaning that if you do want to head north or south, for those of you in the northern hemisphere, and go into regions with coral, this is going to be a lot more practical than perhaps something with a fiberglass hull, or no rigid hull for that matter. So yeah, really cool, really exciting. I'm having a lot of fun learning about the Highfield. So if you want to do a deep dive with me, we're doing that next, and that's over on my Patreon channel. I'm going to try and ask all the questions that perhaps if you were buying a boat, you would want to answer. So I'll go and see you over there on the Patreon. And if you want to look at a competing boat, that's going to be popping up on your screen right now. Thanks a lot.